Have you ever wondered why some people command attention without saying a word? Why their presence alone feels like a force of nature, bending the world to their will? They walk among us, not because they're born extraordinary, but because they decided to be. They act as if they are the best, not out of arrogance, but because they refuse to be anything less. Now let me ask you, what would happen if you dared to act the same? If you carried yourself as though no one could surpass you, not in comparison, but in conviction? Would you seize opportunities you've let slip? Would you silence the voice of self-doubt that whispers, "You're not ready"? Would you stop living as a shadow of your potential and finally claim the greatness that's been waiting within you? The world isn't built for the hesitant. It rewards the bold, the courageous, the ones who act not because they're fearless, but because they decided to rise above fear. This isn't about faking confidence. It's about building it. The Stoics understood this. They didn't preach empty pride. They taught us to embody unshakable self-belief through action, discipline, and resilience. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, Marcus Aurelius commanded. And now, that command belongs to you. What if I told you that the power to transform your life begins not with waiting for the right moment, but with deciding to act as if you are already the person you aspire to be? Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. In this journey, we'll uncover 12 principles, not shallow affirmations, but profound, actionable truths rooted in the wisdom of Stoicism and the power of the mind. These principles will challenge you, inspire you, and push you to rise higher than you ever thought possible. But before we dive in, pause for a moment. Look inward and ask yourself, am I ready to stop making excuses? Am I ready to step out of the shadows and into my own light? Am I ready to live as if I am the best version of myself? If your answer is yes, even if it's hesitant, then you've already taken the first step. Now let's take the next. If this resonates with you, act now. Like this video, subscribe to Victory Stoic, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Remember, greatness isn't given, it's claimed. And when you act as if you are the best, you begin to reshape not only your destiny, but the way the world sees you. The time for hesitation is over. The time for transformation is here. Let's begin the journey to uncover the principles that will empower you to walk, talk, and live as if you are unstoppable, because the truth is, you are. Number 1. Embrace and understand your own value. The journey to acting as if you are the best begins here, knowing your worth. The Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, understood this deeply. Epictetus reminds us, people are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of things. And perhaps the most important view you can reshape is the one you hold of yourself. Here's the harsh truth. If you don't believe in your own value, why should anyone else? But let's be clear, this isn't about arrogance or entitlement. It's about acknowledging that you, as you are a unique and invaluable force. Your talents, your experiences, your resilience, these are treasures that no one else can replicate. You don't need permission to see your worth. You don't need validation from others to believe in it. It's yours to claim. Now, imagine this scenario. You're at a social gathering, and instead of comparing yourself to the person with the flashiest job title or the fanciest outfit, you shift your focus. You remind yourself, I bring something to this space that no one else can. I don't need to compete because I already have my own lane. Suddenly, the pressure evaporates. You stand taller, speak with more clarity, and exude a quiet confidence that makes people take notice. But this doesn't mean ignoring your flaws. Understanding your value also means embracing your imperfections, not as weaknesses, but as parts of a whole that make you human, relatable, and real. Perfection isn't the goal. Authenticity is. How to embrace your value. Stop comparing. Comparison is a thief of joy and a distortion of reality. Instead of measuring yourself against others, Focus on what you do best. Ask yourself, what are my unique strengths? How can I build on them? Practice self-affirmation. Each day, remind yourself of your achievements, big and small. Celebrate your progress rather than dwelling on perceived shortcomings. Surround yourself with positivity. Engage with people who uplift and challenge you, not those who diminish your self-worth. Your environment shapes your mindset. Here's the humorous side of this realization. Think of the time you spent doubting yourself while others, who might not be half as capable, step forward with unshakable confidence. The difference? They've decided to own their value, while you've been second-guessing yours. Isn't it time to flip the script? When you truly understand your worth, you no longer feel the need to explain it or prove it to others. Your energy shifts. Your confidence isn't loud. It's steady, grounded, undeniable. And in a world where so many are searching for validation, your self-assured presence becomes magnetic. As Epictetus would remind you, the key to overcoming doubt lies within your perception. Change the way you see yourself, and you change the way the world sees you. You don't need permission to believe in your value. It's been yours all along. Now, it's time to act like it. Number 2. Walk like a king, even without the throne. Confidence isn't about what you have. It's about how you carry yourself. You don't need a crown to walk like royalty. You just need the belief that the world deserves to feel your presence. Psychology backs this up. Your body language isn't just a reflection of your confidence, it shapes it. When you stand tall, move with purpose, and hold your gaze steady, you don't just look confident, you become it. Let's not sugarcoat it. Most people shuffle through life as if they're apologizing for existing. Slouched shoulders, darting eyes, and hesitant steps scream, "Don't mind me, I'm just here to take up space." But you're different. You stride into a room like it was built for you, not because you're arrogant, but because you understand the power of presence. Imagine this scenario. You're heading into a job interview. Most people would obsess over their resume, nervously fidget in the waiting room, and walk in with a polite but forgettable demeanor. But not you. No, you walk in as if you already belong. Shoulders back, head high, a confident yet approachable smile. You sit like you own the chair, speak as if your words are already valued, and leave as if you've already sealed the deal. And guess what? That energy is contagious. The interviewer sees not a candidate, they see a leader. Or let's say you're at a networking event. Everyone's clutching their drinks, sticking to safe corners, and mumbling through small talk. You, however, move through the room with ease. You make eye contact, you greet people with a firm handshake, and when you speak, your voice doesn't quiver, it resonates. By the end of the night, people aren't asking who you are out of politeness, they're genuinely intrigued. How to master the royal stroll. Stand tall. Imagine a string pulling you upward from the top of your head. Straighten your back, roll your shoulders down, and let your posture do the talking. Own your space. Whether it's a stage, a boardroom, or a coffee shop, act as though you belong. Confidence isn't about domination, it's about presence. Keep your gaze steady. Look people in the eye, not as a challenge, but as a sign of respect. It shows you're grounded, not intimidated. And let's not forget the trail fun side of this transformation. Picture your high school nemesis bumping into you at a coffee shop. They're slouched over their latte, scrolling aimlessly, while you're calmly reading a book about Stoicism, radiating an air of effortless confidence. They glance up, recognize you, and suddenly straighten their posture, trying to match your energy. It's poetic justice, isn't it? Walking like a king isn't about having power, it's about exuding it. Even without a throne, your confidence makes people notice. You don't demand attention, you attract it. And the best part, you don't need their approval, their validation, or their throne. You've already built one within yourself. Number 3. Cultivate consistency in every action. Greatness doesn't arrive in a sudden burst of brilliance. It's forged in the quiet, repetitive grind of consistent effort. Seneca, the sage of Stoicism, wisely said, "Strong character is built through small actions, repeated over and over." And here's the hard truth. The difference between those who dream and those who achieve lies in their ability to show up every single day without excuses. Picture this. Most people approach their goals like a New Year's resolution. They start strong, fueled by enthusiasm, but by week 3, the gym is empty, the to-do list is abandoned, and the excuses pile up. But you're not chasing fleeting bursts of motivation. You're driven by discipline, by the understanding that small, deliberate actions compound into monumental results. Imagine you're training for a marathon. You don't wake up one day and run 26 miles out of sheer willpower. No, you start with a mile, then 2, then 5. Each day builds on the last. And while others quit because they can't see immediate results, you persist, knowing that greatness is a marathon, not a sprint. Now, let's bring it into everyday life. Say you're working on a passion project, a book, a business idea, a fitness goal. Success doesn't come from occasional bursts of energy or sporadic inspiration. It comes from sitting down, putting in the work, and committing to the process even when you don't feel like it. The result? A steady, unstoppable climb toward mastery, while others plateau and fade. How to practice consistency. Set micro goals. Break big dreams into small, actionable steps. Focus on what you can do today to move forward. Create rituals. Develop daily habits that anchor you, whether it's writing 500 words, hitting the gym, or dedicating 30 minutes to learning a new skill. Track your progress. Use a journal, an app, or even a simple checklist to measure your consistency and celebrate small wins. Here's a humorous example. Let's say you've decided to learn guitar. Day 1, you play until your fingers hurt. Day 2, you master a simple chord. By day 3, your roommate sarcastically asks if you're trying to join a rock band because all they hear is twang twang pluck. But fast forward 6 months, and while your roommate is still binge watching Netflix, you're playing full songs and thinking about performing at open mics. That's the power of consistency. It silences doubters and builds a foundation for success. Consistency is not glamorous, but it's what separates the best from the rest. The world may celebrate overnight successes, but every overnight triumph hides years of steady, unrelenting effort. As Seneca might remind you, the path to greatness isn't paved with grand gestures. It's built one small, deliberate action at a time. So show up, do the work, and let consistency become your superpower. Because when others fall away, you'll still be standing, steadily climbing toward the summit. Number 4. Fearlessness in the face of failure. Failure. The very word sends chills down most spines. But here's the truth the Stoics embraced. Failure isn't your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, declared, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." To the Stoic mind, failure is not a wall. It's a stepping stone, a necessary part of the journey toward greatness. Now, let's delve into the power of this mindset with some mythology. Take the story of Icarus, who dared to fly with wings made of wax. Though his ambition led to his fall, his story is a timeless reminder of human aspiration. But here's the twist. What if Icarus hadn't seen his plunge as an end, but as a lesson? What if he rebuilt his wings, stronger and more resilient, and soared again? The failure itself wasn't the problem. It was what he did with it that mattered. Another myth offers a different perspective. Think of the phoenix. This mythical bird doesn't avoid failure. In fact, it embraces destruction. Consumed by flames, the phoenix is reduced to ashes. But instead of staying defeated, it rises again, reborn and more radiant than before. Its story teaches us that failure isn't the finale, it's the forge that shapes us. In everyday life, the Phoenix and Icarus live in all of us. Picture this. You apply for your dream job, only to be rejected. You pour your heart into a relationship, only to see it crumble. These moments sting, no doubt. But they also offer you a choice, to see failure as defeat, or to see it as a chance to rebuild, recalibrate, and rise stronger. The Stoics remind us that failure doesn't define your worth, it reveals your resilience. When you stop fearing it, you unlock the courage to take risks, to dare boldly, and to achieve what once seemed impossible. How to embrace failure fearlessly. Reframe the narrative. View failure as feedback, not a final verdict. Ask yourself, what did I learn? How can I use this to improve? Take calculated risks. The fear of failure often keeps people stuck. Instead of avoiding risks, prepare for them by planning how you'll bounce back if things don't go as expected. Celebrate recovery. Don't just measure success by wins, measure it by how quickly and effectively you recover from setbacks. Here's a lighter take. Imagine a child learning to ride a bike. They wobble, fall, and scrape their knees. But do they give up? No. They cry for a moment, dust themselves off, and get back on. By the end of the day, they're zipping around the neighborhood, their earlier falls long forgotten. Adults, too, need to embrace this fearless persistence. Falling is inevitable. Staying down is optional. In the end, failure is not a reflection of your value. It's a testament to your effort. Each stumble, each setback, is proof that you're trying, daring, and moving forward. And as the phoenix rises from the ashes, so too can you. Let failure shape you, not stop you. Because in the grand journey of life, every fall is simply another step toward the skies. Number 5. Mastering your emotions, not letting them master you. Emotions. They can lift you to euphoric heights or pull you into the darkest depths. But the Stoics understood a profound truth. Emotions are not the enemy, but unbridled emotions can be. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." True mastery begins when you control your emotions, not the other way around. Consider the tales of ancient mythology. Think of Odysseus, enduring the siren's song. While his crew plowed their ears to avoid temptation, Odysseus faced the danger head-on, but restrained himself by lashing to the mast. His wisdom lay not in avoiding the temptation, but in preparing for it, ensuring his emotions couldn't dictate his actions. This is the essence of emotional mastery, not ignoring emotions, but channeling them. Now imagine the opposite. Achilles, the mighty warrior, consumed by rage after the death of Patroclus. His uncontrolled anger led him to reckless actions, endangering not just himself, but his comrades. His strength was undeniable, but his lack of emotional discipline showed that even the greatest can falter when emotions take the reins. In the modern world, this struggle is no less relevant. Picture yourself in a heated argument, perhaps with a colleague, a loved one, or even a stranger on the road. The urge to lash out, to say something you might regret, feels overwhelming. But what happens when you pause? When you take a deep breath, step back, and respond instead of reacting? Suddenly, the situation shifts. Your calmness disarms the other person, and the power dynamic tilts in your favor. This isn't about suppressing emotions or pretending they don't exist. The Stoics didn't deny their humanity, they embraced it. But they understood that emotions, unchecked, are like wild horses. They can trample your goals and relationships if you don't take the reins. How to master your emotions. Pause before reacting. When emotions surge, count to 3 or take a deep breath before responding. This small moment of pause can prevent impulsive reactions. Practice mindfulness. Regular meditation or mindfulness exercises train your mind to stay present, making it easier to navigate emotional storms. Channel, don't suppress. Acknowledge your emotions, but choose constructive ways to express them, like journaling, exercise, or thoughtful conversation. Let's take a relatable example. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting. Frustration bubbles up, and the urge to honk furiously or curse under your breath is almost irresistible. But then you catch yourself. You remind yourself, I can't control the traffic, but I can control how I react to it. Instead of spiraling into stress, you use the time to listen to a podcast or simply breathe. You arrive calmer, more composed, and ready to tackle the day. Emotional mastery isn't about being unfeeling, it's about being unshakable. It's the ability to stand steady in the storm, to let the waves of emotion crash around you without being swept away. As Marcus Aurelius would say, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Choose calm, choose clarity, and let your strength shine through. Because when you master your emotions, you don't just navigate life, you conquer it. Number 6. Always learn. Never stop growing. Life is a vast ocean of knowledge, yet many choose to stay anchored in the shallow waters of what they already know. But the Stoics, wise navigators of life's complexities, implored us to never stop learning. Seneca captured it perfectly. As long as you live, keep learning how to live. The journey of growth has no final destination. There is always more to explore, more to understand, and more to become. The greatest among us are not those who claim to know it all, but those who humbly accept that they don't. They approach life with curiosity, as if every experience, every interaction, every setback carries a lesson waiting to be uncovered. To grow is to thrive, and to thrive is to live fully. Imagine this. You've mastered a skill at work, one that others admire. You could rest on your laurels, basking in the praise of what you've accomplished. But instead, you pick up a book on a new trend in your field, or you take a course to expand your expertise. While others stagnate, satisfied with what they already know, you evolve. You're not just keeping up, you're staying ahead. Growth isn't confined to professional skills. It's about nurturing your mind, your soul, and your understanding of the world. It's in the moments when you sit quietly with a book, allowing new perspectives to shape your thoughts. It's in the conversations where you listen more than you speak, soaking in the wisdom of others. It's in the willingness to try something new, to stumble, and to learn from the experience. Let's bring this idea closer to home. Picture someone you admire, not for their status or possessions, but for their depth, wisdom, and ability to adapt. Chances are, that person didn't stop learning after school or after landing a job. They cultivated the habit of growth. They read, they explored, they asked questions. Their life became a testament to the power of curiosity and learning. How to embrace continuous learning. Read regularly. Commit to reading at least one book a month in a field that excites you or challenges your perspective. Seek mentorship. Surround yourself with people who inspire you. Ask questions, absorb their insights, and let their experiences guide your growth. Learn through action. Dive into projects that push you out of your comfort zone. Learning isn't just in theory, it's in doing. There's a gentle beauty in this pursuit. Growth isn't about racing to the top or comparing yourself to others. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, one step, one lesson at a time. As Seneca would remind us, learning isn't just an obligation, it's a privilege, a way to enrich your mind and spirit. When you commit to growth, you cultivate resilience, adaptability, and a sense of wonder that makes life endlessly fulfilling. Because in the end, the more you learn, the more you realize just how vast your potential truly is. And that realization, that's where greatness begins. Number 7. Create genuine value in everything you do. In a world where superficiality often overshadows substance, the ability to create true value is a rare and extraordinary gift. The Stoics, with their enduring wisdom, taught us that our worth is not measured by what we accumulate, but by the impact we leave behind. Psychologically, the value you bring to others is a mirror reflecting your own significance. When you approach every task with purpose and sincerity, you elevate not just your work, but your entire existence. Think of a craftsman carving a piece of wood. To the casual observer, it may seem mundane, repetitive, even tedious. But to the craftsman, every cut, every stroke is infused with care, precision, and a desire to create something meaningful. That's the essence of creating value. It's not about grand gestures. It's about the heart and effort you pour into even the smallest actions. Now picture your own life. Maybe you're working a job that feels unremarkable, or perhaps you're tackling a task that seems thankless. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, "This doesn't matter. No one will notice if I give less than my best." But here's the truth. When you give your best, not because of recognition, but because it aligns with your integrity, the impact ripples outward. For instance, imagine someone in customer service. To many, it's just a job. But to the barista, who takes a moment to smile and ask how your day is going, or the call center agent who genuinely listens to your problem, it becomes something more. Their effort creates a moment of connection, a sense of care, and that leaves a lasting impression. On a grander scale, think of the teachers, mentors, and creators in your life who have shaped you. Their value didn't come from chasing accolades. It came from their commitment to make a difference, one student, one lesson, one creation at a time. How to create real value. Shift your mindset. Approach every task, no matter how small, with the intention to contribute meaningfully. Ask yourself, how can this serve others? Pursue excellence. Don't aim for good enough. Strive to do your best, not because you have to, but because it's a reflection of who you are. Think beyond yourself. Consider how your actions impact those around you. Value doesn't exist in isolation. It's in the connections you foster and the legacy you build. Here's a practical example. You're asked to organize a small meeting at work. It's tempting to do the bare minimum. Schedule the time, send the invite, and leave it at that. But instead, you take an extra 10 minutes to prepare an agenda, anticipate questions, and ensure the meeting runs smoothly. The result? Colleagues leave feeling respected and productive, and you've elevated a mundane task into something meaningful. Creating value isn't about chasing perfection or recognition. It's about showing up with intention. Whether it's in your career, your relationships, or your daily habits, the effort you invest becomes a testament to your character. Remember, as the Stoics would teach, the value of your life is measured not by what you take, but by what you give. When you approach every action with this mindset, you don't just enrich others, you elevate yourself. And in doing so, you create a life that radiates purpose, fulfillment, and undeniable worth. Number 8. Act even when fear looms. Fear is the shadow that stalks all who dare to dream. It whispers doubts, it paralyzes action, and it thrives on hesitation. But here's the paradox of courage. It is not the absence of fear, it is the triumph over it. The bravest heroes of history, myth, and legend didn't succeed because they lacked fear. They succeeded because they acted in spite of it. Imagine Perseus, tasked with slaying Medusa. He didn't walk into the Gorgon's lair because he was fearless. He knew one glance at her could mean instant death. But armed with his wits, a mirrored shield, and sheer resolve, he faced her anyway, turning what could have been a tragedy into a tale of triumph. Fear wasn't his enemy, it was his catalyst. Now transpose this to your own life. The modern Medusa may not be a mythical creature, but she takes the form of an intimidating boss, a daunting opportunity, or the risk of failure. You see her reflection in the fear of public speaking, the hesitation to ask for a promotion, or the doubt that clouds your ability to succeed. The question is, will you let fear petrify you, or will you wield your metaphorical shield and step forward? Consider this: fear feeds on action. The more you avoid what intimidates you, the stronger its grip becomes. But the moment you take even a single step forward, its power begins to wane. Fear thrives on the unknown. Action transforms it into experience. How to act in the face of fear. Reframe fear as fuel. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" ask, "What if I learn?" Fear signals that something important is at stake, and that's where growth happens. Take one small step. You don't have to leap across the abyss. Start with a single manageable action. Courage is built incrementally. Visualize victory. Close your eyes and imagine yourself succeeding. Feel the confidence, hear the applause, and taste the triumph. This mental rehearsal prepares your mind for action. Picture this: you're offered a leadership role you've always wanted, but doubt creeps in. Am I ready? What if I mess up? Instead of shrinking back, you take the role anyway, knowing you'll grow into it. On your first day, you stumble over your words, but by the end of the week, you've found your rhythm. A month later, you're thriving, and the fear that once loomed feels like a distant memory. Fear is a dragon guarding the treasure of your potential. The Stoics knew that bravery wasn't optional, it was essential. Marcus Aurelius might have reminded you, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Fear isn't the barrier, it's the bridge. When you choose to act despite fear, you become more than a participant in life. You become its hero. Your courage lights the path for others, and your actions echo with the timeless truth: victory belongs not to those who are unafraid, but to those who dare. Let fear be the fire that forges your resolve and propels you toward the greatness that awaits. Number 9. Detach from the judgment of others. Few things are as imprisoning as living under the shadow of others' opinions. The Stoics understood this deeply, urging us to prioritize our values over external validation. Epictetus reminds us, do not let the opinions of others control you. True freedom comes not from being liked, but from being authentic. Think of how much of life is sped tethered to the need for approval. Social media likes, fleeting compliments, or the fear of disappointing others shape our decisions far too often. But here's the harsh reality: no matter what you do, someone will disapprove. The clothes you wear, the career you choose, even the way you laugh, there's always a critic lurking. So why not make choices that resonate with your soul, instead of chasing applause that fades as quickly as it arrives? Imagine walking into a room filled with people. Are you the person who adjusts your speech, your mannerisms, even your interests to align with what you think others expect? Or are you the one who steps in, unapologetically yourself, indifferent to whether you're met with cheers or silence? The latter commands respect, not because they seek it, but because they radiate integrity. Now consider a modern example. You've always dreamed of learning pottery. It brings you peace, joy, and a sense of creativity. But when you mention it, a friend scoffs. Pottery? How's that going to pay the bills? In that moment, you have a choice: abandon the pursuit to avoid judgment, or lean into it, knowing that their opinion doesn't diminish its value to you. The person who chooses the latter is living authentically, untethered by external noise. How to detach from judgment. Clarify your values. Write down the principles and passions that matter most to you. When you're grounded in your values, criticism loses its sting. Practice indifference. Imagine others' opinions as passing clouds. Acknowledge them, but don't let them settle in your mind. Build self-validation. Regularly reflect on your accomplishments and choices. Remind yourself that your worth isn't determined by others' approval. Here's a relatable twist. Picture posting a photo of yourself enjoying a serene, solitary hike. While most comments are supportive, One person chimes in. While all alone? Seems sad. You could internalize their judgment, second-guess your joy in solitude, or you could smile, knowing their perspective has nothing to do with your reality. Their comment fades, your peace remains. Detaching from judgment doesn't mean ignoring feedback that can help you grow. It means discerning which opinions align with your values, and which are simply noise. It's about choosing authenticity over conformity, progress over popularity. As Epictetus might whisper in your ear, the world is too vast, and your potential too limitless, to be caged by the fleeting opinions of others. Live your truth unapologetically. Let them talk if they must, because while they're busy judging, you'll be busy living. Number 10. Act with iron-willed determination. There are few forces in the world as unstoppable as a person with unbreakable will. The Stoics understood this, and placed immense value on cultivating a mind and spirit forged in the fires of discipline and resolve. To them, willpower wasn't just a virtue, it was the engine that propelled every action, the foundation upon which a life of purpose and greatness was built. The truth is, the path to anything worthwhile is rarely easy. There will be obstacles, distractions, and countless moments where giving up seems tempting. But this is where the iron will separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. As the Stoics would say, the challenges you face are not there to stop you. They are there to strengthen you. Imagine a blacksmith hammering iron into a sword. Each strike is purposeful, each step requiring patience and precision. The raw metal resists, but with time, the relentless blows forge something sharp, strong, and unyielding. This is how willpower is built, not in a single dramatic moment, but through relentless action, repeated over time, until what once felt impossible becomes second nature. Consider your own life. Perhaps you set a goal, mastering a new skill, building a career, or transforming your health. The initial excitement fades quickly when the reality of effort sets in. The early mornings, the late nights, the setbacks, all test your resolve. It's in these moments, when the world says, "Stop," that your will must reply, "No, I'll keep going." How to act with iron-willed determination. Set clear intentions. Begin each day by identifying your purpose. What do you want to achieve, and why does it matter? When you're rooted in purpose, distractions lose their power. Break it down. Focus on one step at a time. A mountain is climbed not in leaps, but in steady, deliberate steps. Embrace the grind. See effort not as a burden, but as the price of greatness. Each challenge is a chance to strengthen your resolve. Take this example. You decide to wake up at 5 a.m. every day to work on a personal goal. The first few mornings are exhilarating. You feel productive and inspired. But by week 2, the warmth of the bed and the darkness outside whisper temptations asleep. This is the defining moment. Will you hit snooze and fall back into mediocrity, or will you rise, groggy but resolute, and honor the commitment you made to yourself? The person who chooses the latter builds a will that can weather any storm. The Stoics didn't shy away from difficulty, they embraced it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This strength isn't a gift, it's a muscle you train, a fire you tend to daily. Now imagine the legacy you'll leave behind, not just of achievements but of resilience. People will look at your life and see someone who never wavered, someone who stood firm in the face of adversity. Your iron will become a beacon, inspiring others to find their own strength. Acting with iron-willed determination isn't just about achieving goals, it's about becoming unbreakable. The world bends to those who refuse to yield, who keep moving forward no matter the odds. So rise, hammer your will into something unyielding, and let the world see what unstoppable truly looks like. Number 11. Inspire through action, not words. The world is full of talkers, people who promise much, declare loudly, and achieve little. But true greatness, the kind that resonates and inspires, doesn't need to shout. It is shown, not told. Epictetus, the Stoic sage, wisely instructed us, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. The most powerful messages are not delivered in speeches, but through actions that leave no room for doubt. Think of a quiet craftsman, toiling away in the background while others boast of grand plans. The craftsman says nothing, but when the time comes to reveal their work, it silences the room. There is no need for explanations. The result speaks louder than any words could. In your own life, consider how often people lean on promises or words to convey their worth, declaring their intentions, their abilities, or their ambitions. But promises without action are like an echo in an empty room. Instead, the person who simply does leaves an indelible mark. They don't need to tell you they're reliable. They demonstrate it by showing up on time. They don't claim to be hardworking. They prove it through results. Picture this: a workplace project with two colleagues. One spends their time talking about what needs to be done, listing obstacles, and explaining their intentions in meetings. The other quietly works through the challenges, delivering results by the deadline. When recognition comes, it doesn't go to the talker, it goes to the doer. How to inspire through action. Led by example. Be the first to step up, whether it's tackling a challenge, owning a mistake, or volunteering for responsibility. Actions breed respect. Focus on impact. Prioritize meaningful work over appearances. It's better to achieve one significant result than to make 1,000 empty promises. Stay humble. Let your results speak for themselves. Resist the urge to brag or seek validation. Your work will shine without it. The beauty of inspiring through action is its universality. Think about your personal relationships. Instead of saying, "I care about you," show it through thoughtful gestures, consistent support, and meaningful presence. In the workplace, rather than claiming to be a team player, be the one who lifts others up, who shares credit, who delivers results without needing constant acknowledgement. This philosophy extends to larger pursuits. Imagine someone passionate about environmentalism. Instead of endlessly lecturing about climate change, they quietly adopt sustainable practices, plant trees, and reduce their footprint. Their lifestyle becomes a living testament to their values, inspiring others to follow suit. Why this matters? Actions create ripples. They inspire, influence, and endure long after words are forgotten. The Stoics believed in living their philosophy, not debating it. When your life becomes an embodiment of your values, you become a beacon for others, not because you demand attention, but because your actions make it impossible to look away. Epictetus would remind us that the loudest proclamations often mask the shallowest commitments. But a life lived with integrity, focus, and action speaks volumes without saying a word. In a world desperate for authenticity, let your actions tell your story. Because when you inspire through what you do, you don't just influence others, you elevate them, and yourself, to something greater. Number 12. Believe unwaveringly in the path you have chosen. There is nothing more powerful than a person who believes, truly, deeply, unshakably, in the path they are walking. The Stoics knew this well. They taught that steadfastness in one's purpose, no matter the distractions or challenges, is the hallmark of a life well lived. Stick to the path you have chosen, they urge us, and let no one sway you from it. But belief doesn't always come easy. The world is full of voices that question, criticize, and attempt to steer you away from your journey. Why are you doing this? They ask. Are you sure it's worth it? Shouldn't you be doing something else? These voices, whether from others or the whispers of your own doubt, can feel deafening. But here's the truth: your path is yours, and it doesn't need validation from anyone else. Imagine a tree growing on a rocky cliffside. The winds batter it, the rains erode the soil beneath it, and yet it stands. Its roots dig deep into the rock, anchoring it firmly. It doesn't question why it grows there, nor does it seek permission to flourish. It simply persists, reaching toward the sun, undeterred by the elements. You too must be like that tree, grounded, resilient, and unwavering in your belief. Now, think about your own journey. Perhaps you've chosen a career path that others don't understand, or a personal goal that seems daunting. Critics may question your choices, and setbacks may make you wonder if you've chosen correctly. But belief isn't about never doubting. It's about continuing forward, even when doubt creeps in. It's about reminding yourself why you started, and trusting that every step, no matter how difficult, is taking you closer to your purpose. How to cultivate unshakable belief in your path. Reconnect with your why. Regularly reflect on the reasons you chose this path. Write them down, and revisit them when doubts arise. Silence external noise. Not every opinion is worth considering. Learn to distinguish constructive feedback from baseless criticism. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge every milestone, no matter how small. Progress, however gradual, reinforces your belief. Consider this example. You've decided to start a small business, pouring your heart into an idea you truly believe in. Along the way, you face skeptics, friends who suggest it's too risky, competitors who try to outshine you, and even moments when your own doubts creep in. But instead of giving up, you focus on the progress you've made. Every satisfied customer, every late night spent refining your craft, every lesson learned from setbacks strengthens your resolve. By the time those same skeptics look at what you built, they no longer question your path. They admire it. Why this matters? When you walk with unwavering belief, you inspire others to trust in your vision, even if they don't fully understand it. Your confidence becomes contagious, your persistence undeniable. The Stoics remind us that the strength to stay the course lies within. Marcus Aurelius would urge you to trust yourself. If it is good, then follow it. If it is not, abandon it. But first, be certain it is your path. Your path is yours alone. Walk it with courage, conviction, and hope. Because when you believe in the journey, no obstacle can derail you, and no critic can diminish the brilliance of what you're creating. Let your belief be the foundation of your legacy, unshakable and enduring. Conclusion. Acting as if you are the best is not about arrogance. It's about a profound belief in your worth, your purpose, and your ability to shape your own destiny. It's about rejecting the fear of judgment, the paralysis of doubt, and the limits others try to place on you. When you embrace the principles we've explored today, you ignite a transformation within yourself that radiates outward. You don't just demand respect, you earn it, quietly and powerfully. The world may not hand you greatness on a silver platter, but it will yield to those who walk with conviction. It will step aside for those who act with purpose, discipline, and unshakable confidence. Act as if you are the best. The Stoics would remind us, not because you need others to believe it, but because you already know it to be true. When you commit to this mindset, you align yourself with the energy of success and fulfillment, drawing opportunities to you like a magnet. Now let me ask you, which principle will you start living today? Which truth resonated most with you? And how will you use it to rewrite your story? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let your journey inspire others to rise alongside you. If these principles spark something in you, a desire to act, to grow, to become, don't let the momentum stop here. Like this video, subscribe to Victory Stoic, and share it with someone who needs to hear these truths. Together, we can create a community of resilience, courage, and unwavering purpose. The time for hesitation is over. The time for action is now. You have the strength, the vision, and the potential to become the best version of yourself. Don't wait for permission. Step forward, claim your greatness, and let the world see what happens when someone dares to act with iron-willed determination and a heart full of purpose. As you walk your path, remember this: your greatness isn't defined by what others think or say. It's defined by what you choose to do, every single day. So act boldly, live fully, and never forget that the power to achieve your dreams has been within you all along.